First Covenant Foundation is proud to present the Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallin. We'll explore the Noahide movement and its connection to Israel and the Jewish people. For information, online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920. Talking with Reverend Jack Saunders. How are you this morning, Jack?
Just fine. I hope you're all right.
We're nice to have you with us. Okay, we have, the last time I think we spoke, I was talking about non-Jews who try to convert Jews to Jesus rather than understand their connection to Judaism. Now, I know you want to share with us that kind of information. Can you explain to me why it's not a lack of respect? Is it a lack of knowledge?
Well, it's that too. I think Michael and you had talked last week about, the Jews for Jesus and, of course, the efforts they put into conversion. And for the large part, most of these people are just they really don't understand the system. The system of Torah, if I can take King David, for example, as an example of how he views the Torah. In the Psalms, he says many things about the Torah. For example, he says that all the ways of the Torah are pleasantness. In Psalm 119, he makes these profound statements, that the whole psalm is dedicated to nothing but the Torah and the different aspects of it. And in one place he says that it's like music to his ears. It's apparent that their lack of understanding of the Torah system, in opposed to King David's understanding of the Torah system, whereas they say the system is archaic and these laws have been done away with and now we have this new way. This is not the way King David talks about it. And in fact, King David in Psalm 119 also says that the Torah is the truth. In the English translation would say the law is the truth. And for lack of another thing, by the way, in Hebrew it's just Ha Torah Amet, the Torah, the truth. In other words, King David understood that there was an absolute truth, and that this truth, this system that God gave to the people of Israel, and the Torah system, by the way, for all of humanity, is a system that if we engage in it, and I think the end result is, what we should understand the end result of people engaging in this system is, if you want to rid the world, for example, of anti-Semitism, this is the way to do it, to take this system of laws for all humanity and spread them through the world, and it will rid the world of Jewish hatred.
Is that ever going to come about, Jack? Is that something that we can see happening in this generation?
Well, we certainly have made progress, and we're hoping to make greater progress. The prophets, by the way, have spoken about this many, many times. There are some prophets that probably are not really kind of known to people, because usually we talk about Isaiah and Jeremiah, but the scroll of the 12, for example, you have one of the people we refer to as a minor prophet. We call him Zephaniah, Zacharias. He talks about a day when God returns everybody back to one pure language, and that we all worship the same God in one accord. King Solomon talks about the time when Gentiles would come and pray toward the temple, and that God would hear them in heaven, and that they would learn to fear Hashem, that they would learn to fear Hashem just like the people of Israel. So eventually, we see this is going to work out. Maybe it's not within our generation, but it is certainly within our power to make progress toward the totality of the view of the Tanakh. The Torah and the prophets both foresaw a time when this peace could be, and that there's not going to be anybody trying to proselyte. But understanding the system, and this is, I think, the real failure to people, is to see the system. And if I could offer a suggestion to people is read King David's Psalms, read his idea of this system, and take his view. His view is that it's beautiful, it's music to his ear. All of its ways are pleasantness. And within Christianity and within within the Jews for Jesus organization, which basically is Christianity, their view of it is it's horrible, it's antiquated, it's out of date, you know.
But who are they to make that decision about a faith that everything else is based on? You were not a Jew, but your heart is Jewish, and your connection to the Noahites and to this movement, right? How did you come to this? How did you come to this realization, Jack?
Well, it was a really long process. But eventually what it comes down to, that I accepted the fact that God spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu, and that he gave the Torah to the people of Israel. But not only did he give it to the people of Israel, but he gave it to them, and he gave them also a great responsibility, not only in keeping the Torah, but being able to spread this monotheistic idea that started all the way back with the great patriarch Abraham, and that they would keep this system alive, and that this God, the King of the universe, would ultimately one day become the King of everyone, that all of humanity would recognize this. One of the other prophets says, in that day the Lord will be one and his name will be one. Well, of course, he's one today and his name is one, but it's not a full recognition of that. And that's what we're working toward. But people have to understand the Torah system. It's not an antiquated system. It is a beautiful system, not only of laws, but it's a beautiful system of making a connection to our Creator, the King of the universe, and a system, by the way, that will make a wholesome society, a healthy, moral society, in a place where nobody is being oppressed, by the way.
But, Reverend Saunders, there are people out there who want to feel this way. They don't want to have one. Money is something that sells animosity. It sells differences and angers, and some people perpetuate their lives on that. We don't try to change your thoughts, and we just want to live peacefully with you. You believe your beliefs, we believe our beliefs, and we understand each other. That's basically what we need for harmony, isn't it?
Well, in the long run, yes, but my perspective, and I think the perspective of First Covenant, even the perspective of Michael's great book, The Rainbow Covenant, is that we have an opportunity to relate information to people. I mean, we live in an age, Zelda, that with all the technology, with the the advent of the internet and everything else, we have the ability to spread knowledge far and wide among people that would never be able to receive this information. And with this, we can actually take God's system that he gave not only for the people of Israel, but that he gave for all of humanity, and that if we would embrace this system and get people to understand the system, to understand the beauty, like I said, like King David understood it, then it becomes not about money.
Right.
It becomes about living a life that's consistent with the system, and by the way, making that connection with the King of the universe. And from that point on, we all live in a state of harmony. Maimonides makes an interesting statement, by the way, in the Mission of Torah when he asks a question, what's going to change during the days of Messiah? And he says, well, really nothing, with the exception that the nations will no longer oppress Israel. Yeah. Well, the real question is, how can he make that assumption? Well, the assumption is that everybody's on the same page, that we're worshiping the same God. And there is this idea of harmony, not because it's forced, but because people embraced it, because they saw the beauty of the system that God gave, that it creates moral, healthy societies in which people are not oppressing each other, they're not being vindictive and mean, and they're not really into the materialism. They're really into making their connection with God and connecting with people and being helpful,
Yes, Reverend Saunders, we're totally out of time, but I thank you very much for making that case, and it sounds plausible. I hope people will go on to the website and get more information or pick up Michael Dallin's book. The Rainbow Covenant with Dr. Michael Dallin has been made possible by First Covenant Foundation. Online, rainbowcovenant.org, firstcovenant.com, or call 1-313-891-1920.